yourself and your involvement, how you became involved with this organization?
Okay. Well, I'm a psychologist. I've had my PhD since 1982, so I've been in the field for 40 years or so. And in 1986, I started working at Bellevue Hospital. And at the time, I was the only psychologist working in substance abuse. And over the course of time, we were able to expand the program at Bellevue to the point where we had 4 or 5, we were able to call ourselves a division. One of the things we offered was an internship and an externship training site. And Scott Kellogg, Dr. Kellogg, who was one of our interns, did a rotation with me, and we became, colleagues in a way, and I was on his dissertation committee. And after his graduation, he went off to his professional career, at some point he circled back and invited me to the executive committee, the Division on Addictions Executive Committee. And so I joined them 15, 20 years ago, and I've been a member ever since.
What have you noticed about the progression of this organization since you joined 15, 20 years ago?
Well, it's always been a progressive organization. It's never been one that has accepted the standard 12-step methodology. In fact, I think at the time when I first joined the organization, harm reduction was still something of a controversial, maybe even revolutionary kind of approach to treating substance abuse treatment. And we had a kind of a more crusading attitude because there was a bigger opponent, something to fight against. But now it seems to be the accepted norm to look at harm reduction as being the most reasonable approach to dealing with it, and that's showing up in not only academia, but in government policy and so forth. So at this point, I think the committee has developed from being more crusaders to being more looking for what the next horizons would be. And I think that's where it's at now. It's kind of at a point where it's moving in a direction it's trying to find itself a little bit more.
Wonderful. All right, I think we're good.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Debbie Rothschild.
And how long have you been part of this organization?
Well, I understand it's 35 years old, so at least 34, maybe 34 and a half to 34 years, something like that. I joined in, I think, 1990. Oh, so that would be only 33.
What would you say is the mission of this organization?
What is the mission of this organization? I think it's to bring together, for psychologists to be practicing and interested in substance use is unusual, and it brings us together as a common mind, a way to sort of generate ideas together, to have community. I think it's really important for us to have a community of addiction psychologists. And so as a subdivision of the State Psychological Association, we're an interest group, and our little committee is just the committee that sort of runs it and keeps it going.
So important.
Yeah.
So how have you seen the organization grow in the last 34 and a half years?
Well, first of all, we have new generations coming in, which is wonderful. The executive committee itself has grown. We've really developed a harm reduction approach, and I think because harm reduction was so cutting edge and now much more mainstream, we've really become a teaching organization in a way that, we used to put on conferences as one of the things we did, but our conferences have become really important, and really important to the whole clinical addiction community outside of psychology.
Wonderful. Yeah. I think we're good, because I feel the pressure that I have.
Oh.
You got it.
Okay. All right, sure.